Secretary of Defense until the old Secretary of Defense, Leon Panetta, who I like very much, testifies about what happened in Benghazi. I haven't forgotten about Benghazi. Hillary Clinton got away with murder.
There you go. Hillary Clinton got away with murder, and we are going to hold Chuck Hagel, effectively his nomination, hostage until we get our clarity.
See, the thing is, as I think you'll see as these Hagel hearings go on, as you saw in that Lindsey Graham line, there's an attempt to manufacture more divisiveness within on Congress as regards national security policy and foreign policy. Compared to the other realms where there are real disagreements in Washington, I think we haven't seen a consensus really like this in many years. So they have to bring Benghazi up again. They have to talk about whether the surge worked or not 6 years ago. Those issues for people, the public listening, are not going to have huge traction.
No, but there is something, aside from the style debate and obvious political posturing that comes into play here. In what McCain said is an important question. You took this position, you had this belief at that time when the surge was in play. Do you think you're right or wrong? Now, the way he asked it, and trying to force him into a soundbite yes or no answer, that's not helpful, really, when you're trying to get at a nominee's judgment and trying to see whether he thinks is right or wrong about an important foreign policy question is, I think, a legitimate issue. McCain tried to say that the failure to give a yes or no answer is going to lose Hagel votes. I don't think that's true, because if you go on and listen to what he said in the rest of that answer, it was a smart and nuanced response that goes way beyond the history has to be the judge here. And I think there is where we saw good judgment, not only in how he reacted, but what Hagel actually said.
I thought Hagel was actually quite strong in a lot of these. I mean, a lot of these were gotcha questions, and I think he was
Although I'm not sure why he didn't say exactly what Jamie said he could have said about that. Yes, as it turned out, when we were in the middle of this war, the surge led to a better outcome than it would have otherwise. But, blah, blah, blah. He could have just gotten rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, because again, it wouldn't have had to ratify the Bush policy. You could have easily said, look, a lot of things were going on at that time. The Sunnis finally came and decided to fight on our side against al-Qaeda. The ethnic cleansing had already taken place. The war was in its final phase. And yes, the surge contributed as one of many factors to a decent outcome at the end. But whether Iraq was worth it, as you put it, whether all the negatives, the $1 trillion, the deaths of Americans, the benefits to Iran and Iraq was worth it is a whole different question, and turned it around. And I think a lot of politicians have had trouble with this surge question.
You just said it better than any of them have.
So in fact, you should be up there testifying. Jamie, the one thing that, before we go, I thought this was a really important piece that is getting overlooked. Politico writes, there is one main job on his resume. Hey,